Greece is among 10 most visited countries in the world. Last year, 35 million travellers visited Greece, driven by its spectacular historic monuments and the warm Aegean Sea. It has almost 14,000 kilometres of coastline and 400 award-winning blue flag beaches. That's reason enough to take a closer look at this beautiful country. Athens, the capital of Greece, is the definition of Mediterranean. You'll find it everywhere, in its cuisine, the beaches, and the natural settings. It's a city brimming with youth and energy, where young people stay out until late into the night, 7 days a week. Once the epicenter of intellectual and political thought, Athens in the 6th century BC was all about that democracy life, letting at least some people have a say. Fast forward to today, and you can walk through history with democracy tours that promise to make the past come alive. Visiting Athens without climbing to the Acropolis? Unthinkable. It's not just a climb, it's a journey through olive groves to the peak, where the Parthenon reigns supreme, watching over the 3 million people metropolis. Down at the base, the Acropolis Museum displays old artifacts from the site. Here you can learn more about the ancient Athenian life and art. The nearby ancient Agora, once the heart of public life, was where Athenians engaged in commerce and politics. Shopaholics will love this area for its amazing flea markets that provide many unusual souvenirs and treasures. The streets are colourful and alive, yet history is never far away because ancient and Roman Agora are both quite close by. While you shouldn't miss the historical sites, modern Athens also has plenty to offer. After exploring the ancient ruins, you can browse boutiques in Kolonaki, visit galleries in Metaxourio, and enjoy local cuisine in neighbourhood tavernas. Thanks to the 2004 Athens Olympics, the city's got a slick public transport system. Chances are you'll be riding the red or blue metro lines, touring central Athens with ease. The summertime in Athens is sometimes unbearably hot, which makes sightseeing a sticky affair. Additionally, summer sees an increase in the number of visitors. So, why not give one of the shoulder seasons a shot? Meteora is surely one of the most recognisable places in Greece. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is famous for its ancient monasteries, standing on top of huge rocks in the plain of Thessaly near Kalamata. The name Meteora translates to suspended in air, a fitting description for the monasteries perched on these giant natural pillars and boulders. Meteora's history dates all the way back to the 9th century, when hermit monks settled in its caves, leading to the establishment of 24 monasteries by the 15th century. Today, 6 of these monasteries remain. They serve as centres of orthodox monastic life and attract tourists with their historical, spiritual, and natural significance. The monasteries are full of old paintings, writings, and religious art. The biggest and oldest one, the Great Meteoron Monastery, even has a museum where you can learn about the life of the monks. Then there's the Holy Trinity Monastery, which you might have seen in the James Bond movie For Your Eyes Only. It's got some of the best views you can imagine. Tourism in Meteora thrives due to its landscape and the opportunities for photography, hiking, and rock climbing. The region benefits economically from the influx of visitors, supporting local accommodations, dining, and guided tours. Getting to Meteora is pretty easy. You can take a train or a bus from Athens or Thessaloniki to Kalamata. If you're up for a road trip, driving there is also an option, and it's a great way to see the Greek countryside. Delphi is perhaps the most spectacular of all the ancient sites in Greece. It's perched high on the southern slopes of Mount Parnassos, with a view of the blue waters of the Gulf of Corinth. Pythia, a priestess who delivered cryptic prophecies, was the famous oracle of Delphi, gathering pilgrims from all across the Mediterranean. Established in the 8th century BC, Delphi was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1972. You can explore the famous Sanctuary of Apollo here, but also the huge archaeological museum nearby, with artifacts and statues collected from the original site. There are even more ruins nearby, such as the scenic sanctuary of Athena and the Castalian Spring, which are just a short walk away. The Pythian Games, held in Delphi, were the second most significant event in ancient Greece after the Olympics. Being a Pan-Hellenic site, the sanctuary served as a centre of prayer and discussion for all Greeks, rather than being under the jurisdiction of a single city-state. Skiathos, the star of the Sporades, is apparently the island everyone decides to crowd into every summer. Despite being no bigger than a postage stamp, it magically attracts thousands of holiday seekers every year. It's got everything you'd need for the perfect Greek holiday, especially if you're young and your idea of fun includes loud music and staying up till dawn. Skiathos is covered with vegetation and home to over 60 beaches. Its standout feature is undoubtedly its exotic beaches, with the best located on the southern side. Among the most stunning are Koukounouris, Lalaria and Banana, with Banana Beach being a favourite among younger visitors. Beyond the beaches and nightlife, the island's cultural aspects are waiting to be explored. A must-see is Burzi, a Venetian fortress that offers spectacular views of the town and the vast Aegean Sea. Another notable attraction is the residence of Alexandros Papadiamantis, the famous Greek writer. Skiathos is accessible either by plane or ferry from various ports like Volos, Agios Konstantinos, Evia and other islands. Mount Olympus is more than just the highest mountain in Greece. It embodies Greek mythology and attracts adventurers and historians. Located in northeast Greece between Thessaly and Macedonia, it stands at 2,918 metres. Its height makes it a notable landmark, visible from afar. Ancient Greeks believed its peak was hidden by clouds to keep the gods unseen by humans. Mount Olympus is perfect for hiking and climbing. It offers trails for all skill levels and fitness conditions. The most popular route begins at the Prionia parking area, leading to the Spilios Agapitos refuge at 2,100 metres. This is where many start their summit attempts. The mountain has lush forests at lower elevations and rocky cliffs higher up. It was named a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve in 1981 for its unique biodiversity and mythological significance. You can reach Mount Olympus by road from Thessaloniki, about 100 kilometres away. The town of Litakoro serves as the starting point. From there, various trails lead up the mountain. The island of Corfu is part of the Ionian Islands and is very close to the Greek mainland and Albania. It is indeed a treasure and sets itself apart from many other Greek islands. Being Greece's greenest island, Corfu has a unique flora due to its heavy rainfall. Evidence of the island's history is found almost everywhere, among the old churches, strewn ruins and a few museums. Although there are plenty of restaurants and modern tourist attractions, the area nevertheless has its rustic, traditional charm. This makes it a very cosmopolitan holiday spot. The island's capital is Corfu town. It was controlled by Venetian nobles from 1386 until 1797, and its unusual history sets the town's urban architecture apart from other Greek towns. Many of the buildings were reconstructed in neoclassical style by the British throughout the 19th century. The town's fascinating buildings, including the medieval fortress, have made it a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Some of Greece's greatest beaches may be found on Corfu, and you should visit Dacia, Paleokastritsa, Glyfada, Kontokali and Kavos Beach. Compared to other Greek islands, Corfu is rather large and has its own airport. The majority of European cities have direct flights to Corfu. It is also possible to fly to Saranda in Albania and then take a ferry from there. Zakynthos, also called Zante in Italian, is an island in western Greece that is a part of the Ionian Islands group. There's more of an Italian impact here because of the island's history. Italian was widely spoken during the Venetian era and still is today. The language, food and music are all influenced by Italy. the 7.3 Richter earthquake that struck the island and nearby Kefalonia in August 1953 is the most notable and catastrophic event in the island's contemporary history. The earthquake and subsequent 10-day fires destroyed more than 70% of houses. Though significant growth did not actually begin until the 80s, Zakynthos, unlike those in Kefalonia, were eager to transform their tragedy into an opportunity and hopped on board the tourism bandwagon shortly after Corfu did in the 1960s. The capital of the island, Zakynthos town, still manages to project a sort of grandeur and retains a hint of its previous Italian reputation as the Venice of the East. There are only a few commercial avenues running parallel inland to compete the nearly continuous row of cafes, restaurants and hotels. After navigating the uninteresting main roads to the east and north of Zakynthos town, which are dotted with business buildings and small industries, you escape into the island's gently sloping centre plain, a charming mosaic of shades of green. Vegetable patches, sunflower fields, vineyards, and untamed clusters of chestnut trees coexist among the commonplace olive groves. A visit to Navaggio Beach, popularly known as the Shipwreck Beach and one of the most famous beaches in the world, would round out any vacation to Zakynthos. The water's colour is truly mesmerising. You have to see it in person, as pictures just cannot do it justice. The island of Kefalonia in the Ionian Sea has always had some strategic maritime importance. In due terms, the geographical location was noted as a very important point of linking trade and communication routes of the Greek peninsula with the western basin of the Mediterranean Sea. So, during the rule of Venice, Kefalonia culturally and economically boomed. The Venetians also constructed castles, promoted new agricultural activities, and had a big influence on local architecture and arts. The disastrous earthquake of 1953 caused the destruction of great historical parts of the island, after which followed an extensive rebuilding. The largest town of the island is Argostoli. Its main square, Platea Valianou, is a popular spot where people like to hang out, more so during the evenings. And there is, of course, the De Bosse Bridge, which is actually the longest stone bridge over the sea in the whole wide world. Visitors are attracted to the island by its pure beaches. Myrtos Beach is one of the most famous and beautiful beaches in the world. History lovers can explore the ancient Acropolis of Sami and the medieval castle of St. George. Mount Ainos reaches 1,630 metres and dominates the island's topography. It has been declared a national park. On its slopes you can find a unique species of fir tree. The island's fame is also due to its caves. The charming Melisani cave has an underground lake taking sun rays and therefore glittering with an ethereal bluish light. The Drogorati cave, on the other hand, is famous for beautiful stalactites and stalagmites therein. The island has an airport, the Kefalonia International Airport, not too far from Argostoli. If you're already in Greece, you can take a ferry to Kefalonia. There are ferries from Patras to Sami. You can also take a ferry from Kyllini to Paros on the island. During the 14th and 15th centuries, Parga was the seat of the despotate of the Morea and a flourishing Byzantine stronghold. Because of its strategic position, it was an important centre for political, artistic and religious activity that drew intellectuals, traders and artists from all over the empire. At the top of the hill sits a medieval castle. Built by the Normans in the 14th century, it was destroyed by the Ottomans and rebuilt by the Venetians in 1572. Ali Pasha renovated it in 1814. Walking along Parga's charming streets will bring you to the castle. Turcopazaro is a historically rich and colourful district located in the centre of Parga's Old Town. Great attractions like the Olive Oil Museum may be found there, along with a number of tavernas. Above all, though, is an appealing mashup of Venetian, Ottoman and modern Greek architecture. The beaches surrounding Parga have a reputation for having clean water, which is characteristic for the Ionian Sea. Valtos is a broad beach that lies on the northern slope of Parga's hill. There are lots of restaurants, hotels, and beach bars there. Acheron, one of the famous rivers of the underworld from Greek mythology, is not quite as dismal and menacing as the legends would have you believe. It's a stunningly gorgeous river that winds through Prevesa's rocky landscape, 15 kilometers north of Parga. Approximately 30 kilometers north of Ioannina and 40 kilometers from the Albanian border, you'll find the incredible Vikos Gorge. It sits in the North Pindus Mountains, in the historical region of Epirus. If you ask any Greek what the most beautiful gorge in Greece is, their first reaction will be the Vikos. Actually, it is the second deepest gorge in the world, after the Grand Canyon in the United States. At many places, the walls of Vikos Gorge reach heights of 1,040 meters, demonstrating their remarkable steepness. Beautiful natural landscapes can be witnessed as the Voidomatis River flows through the gorge. Hiking is the most popular activity in the area, aside from climbing and mountain biking. Along Zagoria's paved trails, walking trips are frequently scheduled by several clubs. Hikers can divide the 12-kilometer canyon into 2 or 3 sections. The climb from Monodendri north to Vikos, from Vikos to Papingo, and from Monodendri south to Kipi and its charming arched stone bridges. But since it's so simple to get lost, hiking alone may be quite risky. The Zagori region is home to 44 villages, also known as the Zagoro Horia. It takes 7 hours to drive from Athens to Ioannina. The first Zagori settlements are about 16 kilometers away from Ioannina. The gorge also borders some of the most popular Greek ski areas. Thessaloniki stands apart from Athens, with its own sophisticated and arguably superior cultural vibe. Here, Eastern influences shine through, especially in the cuisine and relaxed lifestyle. The city has the vibe of a college town, akin to Boston, yet recognisably Greek. Thessaloniki, the capital of Macedonia and Greece's second-largest city, was founded in the year 316 BC by Cassandros. He named it after his wife, Thessaloniki, who was Alexander the Great's half-sister. It ranked as the Byzantine Empire's second most vital city after Constantinople, and has some splendid Byzantine art and architecture. In 1913, Thessaloniki became part of modern Greece. The devastating fire of 1917 left 70,000 homeless. Rebuilt in the 1920s, it's now a city full of life. Wide avenues, parks and squares enhance its charm. Tree-lined streets lead to commercial areas with attractive shop fronts. Thessaloniki is proud of its numerous Byzantine monuments and churches, some of which are recognised as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Notable sites you shouldn't miss are the city's walls, the Rotunda of Galerius and the Arch of Galerius. The city's most famous landmark, the White Tower, houses a museum and offers great city views from its top. There aren't many ancient ruins within Thessaloniki, but you'll be able to find just enough Byzantine and Roman sites to keep a history-minded visitor occupied for days. The city hosts the famous Thessaloniki Film Festival in October and November. Its women are known as the most stylish in Greece, and the city's high fashion scene competes with that of Athens. If you enjoy shopping for clothes, shoes and jewellery, you'll love it here. Also, if you like to explore the top beaches of Halkidiki and the stunning spots in Greece's Macedonia region, it's a great place to start. The peninsula of Halkidiki is the most visited region in northern Greece. Its fame is due to its magnificent beaches, which have smooth sand and crystal clear blue waters. Halkidiki consists of 3 smaller peninsulas that are often referred to as legs. The first one, Cassandra, is the busiest and has a lot of cosmopolitan tourist resorts. Sithonia is more calm and appreciated by campers, while the third is an exclusive Orthodox monastic community called Mount Athos. You might want to take a boat cruise from Aranoupolis to Mount Athos. The boat travels along the coast so that visitors may see the stunning monasteries from the water, as public access to the Athos Peninsula is prohibited. The critics will tell you that the public sites in this region are worthless, that archaeologists have trampled over them, developers have brutalized them, and tourists from the Balkans are overwhelming them. Even if the locals haven't figured out how to promote them, Halkidiki does have genuine attractions, and it's pretty easy to get there and drive around. Just one example. Here is the birthplace of Aristotle. You can see his hometown Stagira, or just relax in the ancient town of Nikiti and sip some fresh coffee while staring at Mount Itamus's pine trees. Excellent beaches, several of which have earned the blue flag, and a number of quiet bays can also be found in Halkidiki. Northern Greece has some very beautiful towns, and Kavala is certainly one of them. This seaside city, which rises out of the water like an amphitheatre, is home to over 50,000 people and is divided between the Neapoli and the Paliapoli. Built upon the ruins of the ancient Neapolis, the population of the city almost doubled in 1922 as a result of the Greek population exchange with Turkey. Kavala has two ports, the old and the new one, where fishing boats, ferries, sailboats and cruise ships all anchor depending on the season. The majestic 16th century aqueduct and the charming historic Turkish districts with a Byzantine castle are absolutely worth investigating. Walking along the seaside promenade with its terraces and the fishing harbour will also be enjoyable. Even the beaches of Kalamitsa and Rapsani are easily and quickly accessible on foot. The Philippi ancient city and theatre are around 15 kilometres from Kavala and are well worth a visit. Milos is a captivating island that stands out among the Cyclades for several reasons. It's situated roughly halfway between Athens and Crete. Known for its horseshoe shape, Milos is the southwesternmost island in the Cyclades group, with a coastline that stretches over 120 kilometres. It's celebrated for its incredible variety of beaches, each with its own character. Sarakiniko, with its moon-like surface and clear waters, is a photographer's dream. The unique geological formations shaped by volcanic activity create a surreal landscape that feels otherworldly. The island's natural beauty extends beyond its beaches, with its rugged landscapes, hot springs and villages that dot the coastline. The history of Milos is as interesting as its landscapes. It was on this island that the famous Venus de Milo, now a treasured artifact in the Louvre Museum, was discovered. The island's archaeological sites, such as the ancient theatre and catacombs, offer a look into its past. Milos's history is not just confined to museums and sites. It is a living part of the island's identity, influencing local traditions, architecture and even the food. The heart and soul of Milos lie in its villages. Plaka, the island's capital, is a mix of narrow streets and white houses. The traditional architecture, friendly tavernas, and breathtaking sunset views from the castle make it the perfect place to experience the island's slow-paced and welcoming culture. The local cuisine, with its focus on fresh seafood, local cheeses, and traditional Greek dishes, offers a feast for the senses. Milos is easily accessible by sea, with regular ferry connections from Piraeus, the port of Athens, and other Cycladic islands. The island also has a small airport, with flights to and from Athens. Santorini, officially known as Thera, is a famous island in the southern Aegean Sea, and part of the Cyclades island group. It's actually one of the most popular travel destinations in Greece. Around 1600 BC, a massive volcanic eruption caused the centre of what was once a single island to collapse and sink beneath the sea. It is rumoured that this island was the original location of the legendary lost city of Atlantis, which vanished beneath the ocean long ago. Santorini now has 2 populated islands and several smaller islets. The majority of visitors find themselves on Thera, the largest island of the archipelago, which hosts Santorini's main towns, Fira and Oia. When visiting Santorini, your first stop should be its beaches, where the unique black and red sands create unforgettable sights. Next, explore the well-preserved ruins of ancient Akrotiri, or hike to ancient Thera to witness the remnants of 3 ancient empires. Santorini is famous for its stunning views, particularly from the cliff-top towns of Fira and Oia. These towns overlook the caldera, a sea-filled volcanic crater, providing incredible sunsets that are among the world's best. The island also stands out for its unique cycladic architecture, white buildings with bright blue domes that sharply contrast with the deep blue of the Aegean Sea. This picturesque setting frequently appears on postcards and travel magazines. Santorini is known to be on the pricier side among Greek islands. Accommodations, especially with caldera views, are costly. Dining out, particularly in tourist-heavy areas like Fira and Oia, can also be expensive. To save some money, you should consider staying in less touristy areas like Parissa or Kamari, where hotels can be cheaper, and eat where the locals do. Tavernas off the main paths offer delicious food at lower prices. Santorini has its airport with daily flights from Athens and seasonal flights from various international destinations. The island of Paros is a good halfway point between Mykonos and Santorini. Luckily, Paros is one of the few Cyclades islands that has managed to hold on to its authenticity and ancient identity. Because the main harbour is too tiny for cruise ships, which must anchor out in the bay, there aren't many cruise ships that visit this location. Paros's beaches and tiny villages are its most prominent attraction. It has a little bit of everything that makes a Greek island perfect. Blue dome churches, white buildings, sun-kissed beaches, and charming fishing harbours with taverna tables around them. You may experience the Greek island lifestyle you've always imagined while driving around the island. Paros is also praised for its beaches. Kolymbithres Beach sits in the huge Naousa Bay and is unquestionably the most popular in all of Paros. The towns of Parakia and Naousa are brimming with wonderful stores and boutiques that are perfect places to purchase traditional arts and crafts, including famous marble crafts. One of the best marbles in the world is said to come from Paros. You might want to consider staying close to Naousa if you enjoy a lively social environment and occasional small parties. Alternatively, stay in Piso Livadi if you want the peace and quiet of a small town and don't mind a short drive. Naxos is arguably the most interesting and varied island in the Cyclades. Its central location makes it simple and quick to reach the majority of other Cycladic islands. Furthermore, there are plenty of options for inland excursions because it is the largest island in the archipelago. Naxos has long been able to overlook the tourism industry because of its strong agricultural foundation, but this is starting to change. An airport has opened, and the number of visitors has increased significantly during the past 20 years. Every day, small boats leave for Delos, Mykonos and Santorini from the port of Naxos. It feels like the pace here is much slower. The people walking through the harbour to go about their daily business give the impression that there is no rush during the day. The beaches feel untouched and the waters are clean. The west coast of Naxos is home to some of the island's greatest beaches. The most remote, peaceful and unique beaches on the island are Mikri Vigla Beach, Hawaii Beach and Alico Beach. They are just perfect for windsurfers. If you're looking for a wild party scene, world-class restaurants, trendy stores and a truly cosmopolitan atmosphere, there is no better place than Mykonos. Rich people and numerous celebrities visit this Greek island. Despite being a popular honeymoon destination, young folks seeking a good time often make up the summer crowds. If you decide to stay in Mykonos town, the ferry port, stores and restaurants are all easily accessible on foot. With a view of the ocean, 5 imposing and recognisable windmills can be seen on the western side of the town. The windmills, which date back to the 16th century, were formerly used to mill grain. There are a lot of stunning beaches in Mykonos that you must see. Just stay away from the incredibly crowded ones in the south, such as Saru, Paradise, Super Paradise, and similar ones, and visit the more charming ones that are less known to the visitors. There's a reason Mykonos is called the Island of the Winds. It's exposed to strong northern winds because of its location, particularly in the summer. Mykonos is a rather small island, measuring 15 kilometres in length. you should rent an ATV or scooter for the duration of your visit, regardless of where you stay. You may go on beautiful day tours to several beaches on the island. It's not actually that far to get somewhere. In Mykonos, there seem to be no traffic laws or road regulations. Thus, if you're going to rent a car, be prepared. It can be challenging to pick where to travel when there are so many Greek islands available. However, Rhodes, Greece's fourth largest island, has the longest summer of all the islands, an incredible cultural heritage and a fascinating history. Located just 15 kilometers off the Turkish coast, this Dodecanese island has a little something for everyone. The main town of the island, Rhodes Town, has some beautiful Art Deco buildings next to ancient ruins. The town, once home to the legendary statue Colossus of Rhodes, is a cultural puzzle whose various layers of history may be assembled through the Byzantine, Ottoman, and Italian architectural styles. The old town is home to the island's greatest monuments and welcomes millions of tourists each year. It's one of Europe's best preserved medieval towns and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The attractions you shouldn't miss are the Venetian Castle, the Street of the Knights, and the Palace of the Grand Master. It's great to arrive by ferry or ship, as you will be dropped off within 5 minutes walk from the old town. The trip from the airport to Rhodes Old Town takes around 30 minutes. Rhodes has numerous archaeological sites scattered throughout. There is a wide-ranging network of castles built by the Knights of St. John that were used as lookout points. The best preserved is Castello Cretinias, whose remains provide amazing views of the Dodecanese Islands as far as Halki. Prasonesi, at the southern tip of the island, is one of Europe's best places to windsurf, with a sand spit at the meeting point of the Aegean and Mediterranean seas. Expert windsurfers and kitesurfers are drawn to the Aegean side's head-high waves, while beginners can enjoy the calmer Mediterranean side. Epidaurus is situated in the northeastern part of Peloponnese, near the Saronic Gulf. The closest town is Ligurio, which is about a 15-minute drive away. The site is famed for its ancient theatre. This theatre, built in the 4th century BC, is a masterpiece of classical Greek architecture. It was designed by Polykleitos the Younger. The theatre is known for its symmetry and beauty. Remarkably, it can seat up to 14,000 people. Its acoustics are so precise that spectators can hear a match being struck at the centre stage from the highest tier. The history of Epidaurus is closely tied to its role as a healing centre. The sanctuary of Asclepius at Epidaurus was one of the most important healing centres in the ancient world. However, the rise of Christianity and the eventual banning of pagan practices led to the decline of the sanctuary. The site was abandoned, and it was not until the 19th century that it was rediscovered and excavated. Nafplio was the first capital of the newly formed Greek state from 1823 to 1834. It is one of the most beautiful towns in the Argolis region of the eastern Peloponnese, and one of the most romantic cities in all of Greece. The town's architecture is a fusion of several styles, influenced by Frankish, Venetian, and Turkish rulers. Important ancient buildings and memorials may be seen in the Italianate Syntagma Square, which is located right in the centre of the city. There is the Municipal Gallery, the Archaeological Museum, which houses valuable prehistoric items, and 2 Turkish mosques, just to name a few. Standing proudly at 216 metres above sea level, you'll find the Palamidi Castle. However, there are 999 stairs carved into the rock that must be climbed in order to get there. Nafplio is where many Athenians spend their weekends. It has chaotic traffic, apartment complexes, and an overall sense of anarchy, much like an Athens suburb. Yet, Nafplio is a fantastic destination, particularly during the off-season when it's cool enough to explore. The crowds of tourists have disappeared, and all you want to do is shop, eat, and chill. Greece is famous for its magnificent islands, and the island of Hydra stands out as a gem in the Saronic Gulf. Hydra's notable lack of motorised vehicles sets it apart. Instead of the typical cars, scooters, and buses found elsewhere, the island maintains a quiet atmosphere with donkeys, mules, and walking as the main modes of transport. This not only maintains its old-world appeal, but also shields its environment from pollution. The population here is rather small, with only 2,000 permanent residents. The architecture of Hydra is also very special. The island has some well-preserved stone mansions and buildings from the 18th century. These historical buildings reflect the island's past wealth and importance as a maritime power during the Greek War of Independence. Hydra's strict building regulations have ensured that its traditional architectural style remains intact. Since the 1950s, the island has been a favoured destination for writers, painters, and musicians. It has hosted famous figures like Leonard Cohen and Henry Miller, who have contributed to its reputation. Today, Hydra continues to celebrate this artistic heritage with numerous galleries and festivals. The easiest way to reach Hydra is to take a ferry from Piraeus. High-speed ferries can reach the island in about 2 hours. Mycenae is another famous archaeological site in Peloponnese. It stands as a monumental site in both Greek history and mythology. Mycenae is primarily known as one of the major centres of Greek civilization during the Late Bronze Age. The city is famous for its massive Cyclopean walls, so named because later Greeks believed that only the Cyclops could have moved the enormous stones. The Lion Gate, the main entrance to the city, remains one of the most iconic monuments of Mycenaean architecture. Mycenae's influence is also evident in Homer's epics, where it is described as the kingdom of the legendary King Agamemnon, leader of the Greeks in the Trojan War. Mycenae was burnt around 468 BC by the Argives, and never regained its former prominence. Today, the site is accessible for visitors, and you can drive from Athens to Mycenae in about 2 hours. Greece is not only about beaches and ancient sites. It's also home to several underappreciated cities spread out across its land. Take Patras, the third biggest city in Greece, at the northwestern corner of the Peloponnese. Thanks to its university, a large percentage of the population here are students. Patras is Greece's most important sea link with the rest of Europe. Ferries to Italy and the Ionian Islands depart from the local port. There are 2 districts that make up the city. The upper town, at the base of the castle, is the Old Town, home to numerous neo-classical homes, as well as a number of great cafes and restaurants. The castle has been transformed into a park with a panoramic view of both the Ionian Sea and the entire city. Built on the remains of the ancient Acropolis, it was constructed in the 6th century by the Roman Emperor Justinian. The lower city has many historic mansions and a shopping district. It also has the second largest archaeological museum in Greece. There is an airport in Patras. Originally a military airport, Naxos has steadily evolved into a commercial airport and hosts summertime flights to and from Europe. The city of Kalamata enjoys a prime spot in the Messenia region, right at the base of the Taygetos Mountains and along the Gulf of Messenia in the southern part of Peloponnese. It was first mentioned under its current name in the 10th century, though its origins likely reach much further into the Bronze Age. The city's historic district invites exploration with its stone buildings, the ancient Kalamata castle, and several historic churches. The Church of the Holy Apostles is an important landmark where the Greek War of Independence was officially started on March 23, 1821. The city's waterfront is lined with cafes and restaurants, and nearby beaches like Kalogria are great for relaxation and water sports. The region is famous for its olive groves, and Kalamata olives are recognized worldwide for their unique flavor and quality. The city also has a developing manufacturing sector and is a center for goods and services in the southern Peloponnese. Positioned on Mount Taygetos near modern Sparta, Mystras is a tourist magnet in the southern part of Peloponnese. The Franks founded it in the 13th century. It later became a vital Byzantine stronghold and flourished, particularly during the Despotate of Morea. It was a centre for culture and governance. Even after Constantinople's fall, Mystras remained influential. It was among the last to fall to the Ottomans. Its schools were crucial to the revival of Greek and Roman studies, impacting the Renaissance in Western Europe. Scholars from Mystras helped spark this revival when they moved to Italy after 1460. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Mystras is famed for its architecture. The upper town's despot's palace, though ruins, reveals the area's administrative past. The monastery of Pantanassa and church of Agios Demetrios are famous for their art. What is your favourite travel destination in Greece? Let us know in the comments. If you loved this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more journeys around the world.